Hello everyone, hey dwellers, and welcome. If you are new here, hi. My name is Jinx. I am a VTuber streamer. I use text-to-speech during my streams. So yes, this voice is intentional. I am also the CEO of a little lore project called SIN Corporation. We are an open community. We play games together. We stream. We talk. And sometimes we do opinion videos like this one. This channel is about community, internet culture, and real conversations, especially when platforms make decisions that affect all of us. Which brings us to today's topic. But before we start, a quick disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. I am not giving legal advice. This is informational only. If you want to read the law yourself, you can. The official GDPR text is public. You can find it at gdpr.eu. Now, let's talk about Discord. Recently, Discord announced new age verification measures. To unlock full access, users may be asked to do one of two things. Option 1, upload a government-issued ID. Option 2, use facial scanning to estimate your age. If you do not verify, your account still exists, but parts of Discord may remain restricted. This is presented as a safety and compliance feature. On paper, that sounds reasonable, but in Europe, this raises concerns. In the European Union, we have the GDPR. The GDPR is very strict about personal data. Personal data includes anything that can identify you. Photos, government IDs, biometric data. Facial scans count as biometric data. Biometric data is considered especially sensitive. You can find this in GDPR Article 9. Again, this is publicly available on gdpr.eu. Now we get to the core issue, consent. Under GDPR, consent must be freely given. That means, you understand what you agree to. You can say no, and you are not pressured. Here is the problem. If the choice is, give us your ID or face scan, or lose access to parts of the platform, then regulators may ask, is that really a free choice? In Europe, consent that is tied to losing access can be considered coerced, and coerced consent is not valid consent. This does not automatically mean Discord is breaking the law, but it does mean implementation matters a lot. There is another important GDPR rule, data minimization. This means companies may only collect the minimum data necessary. So questions regulators may ask include, is a full government ID necessary just to verify age? Are there less invasive alternatives? How long is the data stored? Who processes it? Can users delete it later? These are normal GDPR questions, not emotional ones. And now comes an important trust issue. Last October, Discord experienced a data leak. User-related information was exposed through a third-party support system, not passwords, but still personal data. This matters, because when platforms ask for more sensitive data, their past security record becomes part of the conversation. People are not just worried about what is collected, they are worried about what happens if it leaks. That concern is not irrational, it is learned behavior. Now, this is important. This situation is not new. Other large platforms have faced similar issues in Europe. Meta, previously known as Facebook. Meta was fined multiple times under GDPR. One major issue was consent. European regulators ruled that users were not giving freely given consent, because refusing data processing meant losing access to features. This established an important precedent. Use the service or agree is not always valid consent in Europe. TikTok was fined hundreds of millions of euros. The reason was improper handling of children's data. Privacy settings were not strict enough by default. Consent mechanisms were unclear. This showed that platforms dealing with minors are held to a higher standard. Google was fined under GDPR for lack of transparency. Users were not clearly informed how their data was processed. Consent options were confusing or buried. European regulators ruled that consent must be clear and understandable. Clearview AI collected facial images without consent. Several European data protection authorities ruled this illegal. They ordered data deletion and banned processing in multiple EU countries. This clearly showed how seriously Europe treats biometric data. Microsoft and LinkedIn both faced GDPR scrutiny. LinkedIn, in particular, was fined for unclear data processing purposes. Again, the issue was not technology, it was consent. All of these cases have one thing in common. Regulators asked a simple question: do users have a real choice? That is the same question being asked now. So, is Discord doing something illegal? Not automatically. The GDPR does not ban age verification. It regulates how it is done. What often happens next is, complaints are filed, authorities investigate, companies are asked to clarify or change systems. We have seen this cycle many times before. People feeling uncomfortable about this is valid. Once ID data or biometric data exists, it cannot be taken back. And trust in platforms handling sensitive data is not unlimited, especially when there is already a history of data exposure. The GDPR exists so users can question this. Before I end this, I want to share my personal opinion. What do you think? Do you feel Discord is doing the right thing, or do you think this is too aggressive? For me personally, I do not think this level of verification is needed. I do not believe the core problem is Discord alone. They are reacting to pressure. In my opinion, the bigger issue is parental responsibility. Children should not be learning internet safety from platforms alone. That responsibility starts at home. Parents need to be aware of what their children do online, what they access, who they talk to. Platforms can add safety tools, but they cannot replace parenting. Pushing extreme data collection onto everyone feels like the wrong solution, especially when it involves sensitive data, like IDs or facial scans. So for me, this feels like a reaction to a deeper problem, not a real fix. But that is my view. I am curious about yours. Let me know in the comments. If you want to read more yourself, visit gdpr.eu. Thank you for listening, and welcome to the modern internet.